Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be installing the Canon MAXIFY MB2020 software and simultaneously installing on our network. Now, we're going to do something a little different this time. Normally we would uninstall every unnecessary printer before we would install software for a new one. And as you can see, we have MB2020 software from the MB2020 already installed on this particular printer. So we're going to try to see what happens when we try to install a second Canon MB2000, MB2320 printer, and find out what happens. Now, you'll see on the install programs, add remove programs, there's already a whole bunch of Canon stuff on here, 10 items altogether. And we're also going to be following this up with the installation of an HP OfficeJet Pro 8610 to see what happens when we add it to this. So I wouldn't expect it to duplicate all of this, but I want to see how well it deals with having a second printer involved from the same series on a single computer. So let's put this away and run the setup, and in the meantime we can look at this cool picture. I really don't know what it is, but it's pretty cool looking. Looks like people standing on paddle boards down here. Okay, now they're calling it the MAXIFY 2300 series. I believe the CD-ROM says 2000 series on it, but it doesn't really matter. So you can set your language here. Next. We had this hooked up previously. Prior to this, we had the printer hooked up via wireless networking, so it shouldn't have too much trouble finding it. I assume this is it. So let's go. It doesn't see, well, actually the 2000 is not plugged in and turned on, the 2020, so maybe you go back and you'll wait while I turn that on. Okay, I turned it on, plugged it in and turned it on. And let's see what happens now. Next. Okay, it's still only found the one printer that we need to install, which is a good sign. Next. Okay, we might as well install everything. I don't need the XPS driver, and we don't need this additional dictionaries. There's a select all, clear all. Next. And license agreement. I don't agree, but I have to. Allow the installation wizard process. If your firewall block pops up during the process, you want to do permit, allow, yes, or unblock. Alright, now it's saying installation process 1%, about 12 minutes until completion. With the 2020, this took less time than 12 minutes. It was actually reasonably quick. So now it's installing the MP drivers. Moving right along, it's installing the user manual. And oh, by the way, the online user manual was over 1,100 pages on the MB2020. Now it's installing my printer, and the manual was a PDF. It wasn't a web-based manual. Installing the speed dial utility, we're up 50%. And the quick toolbox is being installed. Hopefully not two of these is going to get installed. It should only require one. And that's why we're doing this. To find out what happens Easy Web Print EX is being installed. Okay, the process stopped. We have a shortcut for the user guide up here. A bunch of registrations information should pop up. It's searching for printers again. And it's communicating, registering the print driver and fax driver, scanner driver, the network utilities, scanner driver once again. There's WIA and Twain scanner drivers, in case you're wondering. Setup has been completed. Really quick, I love it. Complete. Setup complete. User registration is next. Now we only use these printers for a couple days, so I generally don't go through all this. The only way to get through this is click register now, and then it asks me to find, since I'm not doing it automatically, it's asking me to find the product manually, and this is like the last time it's not on the list, so you would have to go back here to complete login. I don't have a login. Create an account and then register. So I'm not going to do that, and there's no way to skip this anyway, so I'm just going to have to put it away. Extended survey program. What this means is that it'll send your usage information over to Canon in case of using your Canon product in China to the legally approved research company. Canon requests that the information below related to your Canon product be sent to Canon in case of using your Canon product in China to the legally. I guess it can't do it in China, but I don't want them to do it either. Like I said, we'll only be using it for a couple days at the most, and I do not agree. And it wants me to do a test print. I don't want to waste the ink or the paper, because I'm sure it's hooked up correctly. Next. Exit. Okay, so the CD-ROM popped out all by itself, which is a nice feature because I always forget to take them out. And then it's asking us if we want to set up the fax from here. You can set up all of these really cool remote printers, print from MAXIFY Cloud, send to Evernote, print from Google Cloud Print, print from Apple AirPrint from your iPhone or iPad, print via email attachment, check the network connection of the printer, set your scan to shared folder options, and send faxes to shared folder options. And it gives you the ability to install optional solutions, Photo Print Plus, manage using Quick Toolbox, access to Creative Park Premium service, the inkjet print utility, and then some MAXIFY printing solutions from smartphone or tablet. Okay, this is basically a website that you'll get from the you could get to from within all of the software as well. Now let's go and look and see what got installed. It's the two new. So you see the new here, the on-screen manual and the registration. You can see that the 2000 stuff is still here. All the utilities are here, and they're not listed as new, so that's a good sign. Let's go to install a program, and you can see that all the utilities are still there, with the addition of different drivers, manual and registration, so that's a really good sign. That means that I didn't have to install all this 2000 stuff before I installed the 2300. And as far as the software goes, let's take a look at that again. We review all of this stuff on the MB2020, it's the second half of the MB2020 network and software installation video, if you want to see what all this looks like. With the exception of, we weren't able to access the embedded web server. And let's see if I can remember how to, well, you can do it easy way. And yeah, and where we found out that we had to okay, here's the 2020 embedded web server, and we found out when we were doing the 2020 that you need to set this admin password from the control panel before you begin the installation. So that said, I did not set the username and password on the 2320, but I did on the 2020, and this is what the embedded web server looks like. It's called Remote UI, and I expect it to be identical for the 2320 as well as the other MAXIFY products. So you have your printer status, you have all of your utilities, cleaning, head alignment, quiet settings, language selection, your AirPrint settings for printing from iPad or iPhone, your Google Cloud Print settings you can use to print from your PC anywhere in the world. You can print to your printer sitting in your office. Print from email, same thing. You send an email attachment from any device anywhere in the world, and it'll print the attachment out on this printer that's in your home or home office or office. Cloud printing center setup, where you can use the Canon inkjet cloud printing feature to print documents that are in the cloud. Your security, which is pretty, also has operation restrictions where you can not choose to disable the following features here. Records of use tells you what's been used, how many pages, and this is a 2020, so we did some stuff on here that's showing you how many sheets we printed. On the 2320 that I just installed, we haven't printed anything on it yet, so number of sheets used. We haven't done any faxes. I don't know what other functions are. Copying, probably, or not. Yeah. And the number of sheets scanned. That's both copying and scanning, I imagine, because we did some scanning tests. And then you can do a firmware update. So that's what the embedded web server looks like. And you know, we couldn't show you it on the 2020, but now we're showing you on the 2320, and we expect it to be the same for other machines. So that's it. It's all pretty straightforward. Like I said, if you want to check and see what's involved with all of this software here, you know, take a look at the MB2020 software and network installation video, and we go through all of these utilities and what they look like, as well as the print drivers. In fact, let's take a quick look at them, and make sure that there really is not much of a difference, or shouldn't be, between the 2320 and the 2020. Okay, everything looks pretty much the same. And it doesn't like us opening them at the same time. But from what, oh, here we go, there's the 2000. And it's a good thing that they look identical, because if you have these installed in your office, you would want all of the MAXIFY models to have the exact same interface, so that you only have to train everybody once. So, okay, that's it. Basically, really easy to do, and nice job by Canon.